Hello, welcome to another lesson. In this lesson, we will be performing our first cross-site scripting attack, also known as XSS. We are going to inject malicious JavaScript into web pages to steal cookies, deface websites, and create fake login forms. XSS is when you inject malicious JavaScript code into a website, and that code runs in users' browsers. You can think of it like a public bulletin board where instead of posting normal messages, you post a message that executes code for everyone who reads it. There are three types of XSS. The first one is Reflected XSS, the second one is Stored XSS, and the third one is DOM-based XSS. So we are going to be starting with Reflected XSS. For Reflected XSS, code executes immediately from URL or form. To practice that, let's get right into it. The first thing we are going to do is to open our browser. I'll open my Chromium browser from here, and then let me try to minimize this too. And after that, I'm going to log in to my DVWA. I will enter the username and password, then I log in. Then I'm going to come here and click on XSS Reflected, and now I'm here. Now you are seeing a form that says what is your name with a text box and submit button. We can try to do some trial and error by first typing our name. Let me type Victor and click on submit to see what it looks like. You can see hello Victor. And what this means is that the website takes my input and displays it back. But the question we can ask ourselves is, what if the website doesn't sanitize the input we are giving it? That means we can inject code instead of text, right? Yeah, let's try that. Before we start anything, we can come here and change our security level to low, then click on submit, and then come back to our XSS Reflected. So what we want to do now is to try to inject a script into this and see if it is going to work. So I have written the script here. So this is the script that we want to use at the moment. So what I can just do for this is to copy this and then come here and paste it in. I'm copying and pasting because this input or text box is too small and I might not be seeing what I'm typing very well. So I can click on submit, and the moment I did that, I'm getting a pop-up that you are hacked, and this is how attackers do it. What if I don't just want to display a pop-up to the user and I want to steal their cookies? So the first thing I need to do is to try to see the cookies first, right? So let me try and then write a script. To do that, I can come here, try to write the script so I can see things clearly. Yeah, this is the script I want to use. So I'm using alert, then document.cookie, then I'm having the closing tag. Then I'm going to come here, I can copy these two, then come back inside my curly and try to paste it. Now let me click on submit, and you can see that immediately it has captured my cookie for me. Can you see it? You can see language is equals to English, welcome banner, and now you can see my session ID here. And this can be very dangerous. But attackers will not do all of this, because in a real attack, instead of showing an alert, what they are going to do is to send this cookie to their server, so they can build their own website and set up an endpoint that is going to be receiving all of the cookies from the user. We might not be able to set up an endpoint inside this lesson, but I will show you what it looks like. And here is what it looks like. So what they are doing here is that they are setting variable cookie to be document.cookie. And what this is doing is that it is getting the cookie and then saving it inside variable cookie. And this one is going to grab the victim's cookie, then redirect the user to attacker's server with the cookie in the URL, and that is why they are adding the cookie here. So after this, the attacker will log it and from there impersonate the victim or the user. We can try this, but because the endpoint is a dummy one, we've not built an endpoint to do all of this, right? It may not work, but this is just how they do it. We can still copy this and then bring it inside our DVWA and try to paste it. You can see that the attacker.com domain name is not a valid one yet, because it is not being used by anybody. What we can do next is to try to deface the page. What if a user wants to input their name, click on submit, and instead of saying hello Victor, we are showing them another page entirely? That is, we are defacing the entire page. We can try to do something like that. But before you could do this, it is good for you to have a good understanding of HTML. So what I can do is to come here and then write something here. So you can write script document.body.inner.html. If you write HTML and CSS, you understand this better. So this style is meant to style your page. That is, you want to add colors, you want to add text, you want to add margin. It's just a way of styling your page. And this is the content that the user is going to be seeing. We are using H1, which is the biggest heading in HTML. HTML has H1 to H6, and we are using the body because the body is just like the tag that houses everything a user is seeing on a web page. So we are using documents.body.inner.html, and we are changing everything inside body to this. So let's try this. Let's try to copy this and then paste it in our form. So I can come back here and try to impute it here. You can see that instead of seeing the DVWA page showing hello Victor, I'm now seeing hacked by Victor. This is how attackers deface websites or web applications. Another thing we can do is to create a fake login form to steal credentials. We can do that. So what you can do is to come here and then we can use this. It is a bit long, but we can copy this and try to paste it here. You can come back and then copy, paste this. I'm going to add all of the scripts that I'm using in the description, and if you don't see them there, you're going to see a link to a document there that contains all the scripts. So just try to click on the link and it's going to show you all the scripts that I'm running. So for this, I can click on submit, and now you can see that I have created a fake login page to accept the users. So if the user is coming here to type in anything, I can be collecting the credentials behind the scene. So this is very risky, and everything I'm saying here is for educational purposes. So do not try this on any real web application or real environment. Be careful. For this, somebody can type in username and say Victor, and maybe password, probably password is their password. They can just type it there and click on login. And the moment they click on login, the attacker would have collected the details behind the scene, and now you can see that attacker.com doesn't support secure connection. So we already know that attacker.com does not exist, so we don't need to bother ourselves with that. But what I'm trying to teach you is how attackers do that. This is how they do it. So that's all we are going to do in this lesson. So far we have learned that we must not build a web application that just trusts user input. We should always sanitize and encode it, because XSS can steal cookies, deface pages, create fake forms, redirect users, and even inject malware. Reflected XSS requires the victim to click a malicious link, but when we start considering stored XSS, we are going to see that this one is more powerful because this can be stored in the database and that can affect everyone automatically. Modern frameworks like React, Angular, and Vue automatically escape output by default, but you still need to be careful because XSS is in the OWASP top 10, and that means that it is everywhere. So here is the assignment and task. First, you are going to test at least 5 different XSS payloads on DVWA at low security. Second, ensure that you screenshot each successful XSS attack. Third, document which payload was most effective and why. And fourth, if you can create an XSS payload that changes the page background color, then it's going to be a bonus. For you to submit this, try to join our community using this link. The link will be added to the description as well, and share the screenshots in the community. Also, this is the task, and that is what is the difference between reflected XSS and stored XSS, and which one is more dangerous and why. Try to drop your answer in the comments below. I will be reading every single one, and I will be giving shout outs to the best answers that I can find. So that's all for this lesson. If you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can do that now. You can see that we are giving out a lot of values. Also, do not forget to like, share, and comment. I really want to know what you've learned in this lesson in the comment section. Thank you, and see you in the next lesson.